This is KGW News at noon.
The FBI is now offering a $25,000 reward for information in a shooting that killed 3 people, including 2 high school students. You may remember this happened back in March at University Park in North Portland on a Saturday afternoon. The FBI says the shooters fired dozens of shots, with neighbors finding bullet cases in their yards. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Brenda Braxton. The FBI announced that reward earlier today. They say they're looking for 3 people. The shooters targeted the victims and kept shooting at them even as they tried to drive away. 17-year-old Eskender Tamra, who was a junior at Franklin High, died. So did 19-year-old Isaac Dowdy, a senior at Roosevelt. The 3rd victim was 20-year-old Patrick Johnson. If you have any information, contact the FBI's Portland Field Office or go to tips.fbi.gov.
One of the flight attendants comes on to the intercom and says, "Hey, everybody, got a little update for you. The shooter has been taken care of."
The woman accused of firing a gun at a TSA checkpoint at PDX will be in court this afternoon facing several charges, including attempted murder. The Port of Portland said this all happened just after 11 o'clock Tuesday night, just outside the D&E security gates. They say 47-year-old Laura Patterson from Kennewick, Washington, left the restroom that's outside the pre-security checkpoint and fired shots into the air from a handgun. Luckily, no one was hurt, but we still don't know why she was in that area or why she fired shots into the air. Travelers KGW talked with described the scene as chaotic as they tried to get away from the area.
Your brain just goes crazy. You're starting to think, where can I go? Where can I go? Where can I hide?
What a scary situation. So those security checkpoints reopened a few hours later, and the airport was back to normal operations. According to court records, Laura Patterson is facing 10 counts. 7 of them are felonies, including 4 counts of attempted murder. She will make her first court appearance at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Unionized Starbucks workers at 11 stores here in the Portland area are on strike this noon. This is part of a nationwide walkout involving thousands of employees. The one-day strike coincides with Red Cup Day, when Starbucks hands out red cups to customers who order holiday drinks. The promotion, one of the biggest of the year, but the union says the company doesn't staff it properly. They want Starbucks to shut down mobile orders to ease the workload. Now, Starbucks says it'll bargain in person, but the union wants to do it online so members can listen in. Right now, things are at a standstill. The company issued this statement saying it hopes the union shifts priorities to secure, quote, shared success. This is now day 10 of the Portland teachers' strike, canceling classes in Oregon's largest school district. PPS says it's reached a compromise with the union on some smaller items, but they still remain apart on things like class sizes and cost of living raises. And since the strike continued today, the district says teachers will lose their health insurance in December. PPS says it's cutting benefits because teachers worked less than half the days they were scheduled for this month. We talked to one teacher at McDaniel High School. She says she's especially worried because she has a 4-year-old recovering from brain surgery.
I mean, I was expecting to not have to deal with that right now. You know, I was expecting for them to have integrity and imagination for us to keep our benefits the way that they were.
Oregon's statewide teachers union promised to help cover the cost of insurance for educators who lose their benefits. Well, eventually PPS students will have to make up that missed class time. Oregon students are required to get 900 hours of instructional time every year. It's 990 for high schoolers. PPS says until the strike is over, everything is up in the air.
And so we really can't commit to extending the school year or not until we know how long the teachers have been out.
A school district that doesn't meet state requirements can ask the Board of Education for a one-year waiver. Right now, the last day of school in Portland is scheduled for June 11th. Some Oregon lawmakers are trying to put a stop to teacher strikes statewide. KGW's Catherine Cook spoke to one who's leading the charge.
We need to honor our children and their time for their education.
State Representative Christine Goodwin lives in Southern Oregon, and yet she's invested in the Portland teacher strike.
I think other school districts are looking at this, and I think it's a dangerous precedent to set.
Goodwin believes the price that PPS kids are paying now could have statewide implications in the future, especially given the instruction time students lost during COVID. On Wednesday, Goodwin and two other Republican lawmakers announced plans to introduce a bill next season. It would limit teachers' unions from walking off the job on school days. Many states, including Washington, have similar laws, though they're not typically enforced.
It is really an important topic for our state to consider and honor the children's education, and this is their time in school. This should not be a time for unions to play their games with education.
Wednesday marked the 9th day that 44,000 kids missed school because of the teacher strike. McDaniel Sr. Elle Hansen is out there with them most mornings.
The goal is for me is to become an educator in the future, and so to support these teachers means that I'm supporting a cause that I really believe in. I'm supporting the education of my fellow peers.
Elle does point to some challenges, like applying for scholarships at home alone.
So it's not easy, though our teachers have set us up for success without them necessarily being able to help us due to the strike.
The teachers union and the district have made some progress on issues like planning time, but several sticking points remain. Teachers are still fighting for higher pay and smaller class sizes. They're also demanding better working conditions. Late Wednesday afternoon, the city of Portland announced plans to help address the latter. In a joint statement, Mayor Ted Wheeler and Commissioner Carmen Rubio said they would fast-track $19.9 million to improve Portland Public Schools buildings and infrastructure. The money comes from the Portland Clean Energy Fund. In a statement, Mayor Wheeler said, quote, "I appreciate the dedication PPS and PAT have shown remaining at the bargaining table, which demonstrates their commitment to reaching a resolution. These resources will bolster the package PPS, PAT agree to, improving school conditions to benefit both teachers and students." Catherine Cook.
So stay with KGW for the latest on the Portland teachers strike. Look for updates and catch our past coverage on KGW.com and streaming on KGW+. Okay, let's head back to the Weather Center. So, Rod, how are things shaping up for the rest of the day?
Well, it's interesting, and it's turning out to be pretty much exactly what our Futurecast model is showing. Some of us are cloudy, some of us are foggy. Some of us have sun. Now, Portland's had a good bit of sun. Right now, there's a little passing cloud band coming into the city, but I think eventually we'll get back to a mostly sunny afternoon. So overall, pretty nice. I mean, we're at 50 right now. I have us on track to get up to about 54 this afternoon. Eventually, just mostly sunny, then fairly clear going into this evening. I mentioned it's a mixed bag. So here's Willamette Valley Vineyards. This is up on the hill. It's foggy, just south of Salem off of I-5 at the Turner exit. So that's chilly, right? And then over in Central Oregon, a similar scene. We thought this could be a spot that would get stuck in the low clouds, and it has. That's a view from Aspen Lakes Golf Course. You should be able to see the Three Sisters out here, but of course all you see is the low clouds and fog. And the East Gorge, we thought, into the Columbia Basin could get stuck under clouds. Right now, good visibility, but clouds out in the Dalles. Now, I mentioned it's totally dry. No concerns for you this afternoon, but some of us are warming up in sun and some aren't. The forecast for the weekend does include some rain, and that's coming up straight ahead. Brenda?
Thank you, Rod. Multnomah County DA Mike Schmidt is voicing his concern about Mayor Wheeler's camping ban, which is currently on hold after a court ruling. KGW obtained a letter the DA sent to the mayor this month. It takes issue with all the hoops police have to jump through to enforce the ban. For instance, before a homeless person can face fines or jail time, officers have to provide documentation that they warned them 3 separate times. Officers also need to have a witness with them. In addition to that, police need to prove shelter space was available and the homeless person declined to go. Any missing documents or discrepancies could sink the case.
3 different officers interact with that person. If each person doesn't know what each person said, you could end up with a prosecutorial problem.
That's the president of the Portland Police Officers Union. The mayor's office didn't respond to KGW's request for comment on the DA's letter. Well, all MAX lines are back in service this noon after a train and a streetcar collided in Portland's Lloyd district. That crash was breaking news yesterday at noon. It happened at Northeast 7th and Holiday and sent 2 people to the hospital. It also disrupted transit across the city for much of the day. Drone video really showing the damage there. The streetcar driver and a passenger suffered minor injuries, but no one on the MAX train was hurt.
It's wild, especially in this neighborhood. It's usually so quiet. So it's kind of like exciting for this building. Everybody was down to trying to check out what was going on.
As for what caused the crash, the sheriff's office said it's either malfunctioning signals or operator error. TriMet says it's looking at video on both the MAX and the streetcar to get a definitive answer.